According to Albert Einstein, we cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. My name is Corinna Stoffel, and I'm the host of Toward a New World. The world seems to be falling apart. Are you as frustrated as I am with the talk about how to fix things or what needs to change, yet nothing changes? In the episodes, I invite people to look from different perspectives, sometimes even contrary to the current points of view. My intention is to evoke a different level of consciousness by empowering listeners to explore what is true for them and begin to live their lives from that place, thus changing their lives and through the world. If this appeals to you, I ask you to subscribe to the podcast on this channel.
Hello and welcome. Here we are again. What is today's subject? It's courage. What is courage? And especially, what is it in this context? What is courage? How many so-called adrenaline junkies do we have? And on some level, I was even part of that. I remember in the early 90s, 30 years ago, to being a participant in a workshop with Dan Millman. And on one day, we left early in the morning. We did a bungee jump out of a hot air balloon. And after that, we skydived. The most memorable memory of that is experiencing my body screaming, "Do something, we're falling." Yeah, I was attached to a rubber band and bounced, and I'm still here, obviously. Didn't die. But what does courage mean today, 30 years later for me? I'm looking at courage being the fifth of 9 points, 3 of them related to spirit, 3 of them related to self, and 3 of them related to society. So it's the midpoint. It's turning from the unseen related to spirit. And there is not much seeing when we talk about awareness, to the seen, talking about the wisdom we share, and then stepping out into society. Courage for me today means trust. Trust in the connection with spirit. Trust in the vision and the awareness that I have. Trust in myself. And that leads to having the courage to say or do what I am shown by the vision, by the awareness, by spirit, by my soul. And also doing it not for myself, but it's more as a doing it for the people in general. It's a contribution. And I have to say, exploring elderhood now for quite some time, beginning of the year, in depth. I've been exploring it before. I saw, for instance, when I was looking at how can I structure a presentation, I saw a triangle with the words spirit, self, society, and 3 words on each of the sides. Doing the podcast episodes, in preparation for each of the episodes, I have been gaining a deeper understanding of each one of the episodes. And now, being in the middle, I am beginning to see the bigger picture, how one leads to the next. And it's truly being willing to say and do what my soul is asking me to say or do. 30 years ago, I was willing to fight for something or against something. But that is no longer the case. And it doesn't have anything to do with age per se, maybe with the wisdom that I gained, but it has to do with understanding that if I fight for or against something, I'm creating the energy of fighting. I'm putting the energy of fighting into the collective field. And in all honesty, from my perspective, we have enough fighting energy. I don't need to contribute to that. For me, it's becoming more important to maybe be quiet, to contribute an energy of compassion, an energy of gratitude, an energy of peace. And with that, I'm using what I have learned through heart math. So that is more valuable for me. In the end, it's not even about a specific subject area. It's about having the courage to be who I truly am, to be authentic. Do we have the courage to look within, to look at the wounds that we have, to look at the trauma we've experienced over our lifetime? And that can be pretty uncomfortable to look at that and to let go of that, to heal it. And what I realized, healing it actually gave me more compassion for others. Interesting subject. I no longer blame, I have compassion because I can see how I was affected by that other person due to that other person not even knowing that they had trauma, that you could heal trauma. I mean, 50, 60 years ago, who was talking about trauma? And like, if I look at my parents, they were teenagers during World War II. And I can only imagine today how that might have impacted them, what that may have cost them. The father of my father was a POW. So my father didn't know if his father would come back out of the war. How does that impact you? You know, we can only imagine what is going on there, how that informs us. And do we have the courage to stop hiding, to show ourselves, to be vulnerable enough to show up as who we are and allow others to see us. To not hide. And I have been hiding so well for most of my life. It's only recently that I have started to show up, to step out, to be willing to be seen. So, what helped me to do that? On some level, it is my deep connection to spirit, my commitment that I made 1.5, 2 years ago to rebuild a connection with my soul. And I got very clear that if I'm being told something and I'm not responding to it, I'm ignoring it, that voice eventually is going quiet again. I've had that throughout my life. And I was not going to go there again. So, how much courage are we willing to have? How much courage are we willing to share what we are envisioning, to share what awarenesses we have, to share what we see, what we think? And we can do that without fighting, without attacking. We can own that. We can do it in I language. We can say, this is what I see. How do you see it? Giving the other an opportunity to say how they see it. And for me, actually, I often have asked people, why are you thinking that way? Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I said, I'm just curious. I don't want to fight you on that or convince you of you being wrong or what, and I'm me being right. Truly being curious. How much can we use curiosity as an elder to connect with others, to keep learning, to appreciate different perspectives? And does that also give us the courage to voice our perspective? Is it even required to have courage, to be willing to be curious? I'm curious about that. So, whatever it is you think, I would love for you to let me know. Comment below the post, and we will go and talk about something else on the list for elderhood. So take care. Bye-bye.